today's video, we'll take a close look at the recently released first official trailer for GTA 6. We will analyze frame by frame all the details and things we can expect in GTA 6. We will also discuss real-world references that Rockstar will incorporate into the game. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and let's get started. Okay, let's start with the first scene, which depicts a glimpse of the Florida landscape with the city of Vice City in the background. On the slide, we can see a very tall TV tower that exists in real life. In reality, it stands at 549 meters and is located in Miami, near Homestead in Florida. As we can see further, in the game will appear new vehicles, but also those that we've already seen in GTA 5. The water physics will be even better than what we saw in Red Dead Redemption 2. Planes will leave trails in the sky just like in real life. At this point, we see the state prison, which has been presented here not without reason. Because in the next scene, we move straight to it. After a moment, for the first time in the history of the GTA series, in the 3D and HD universe, the first female protagonist of the series appears before our eyes, Lucia. Deprived of freedom, she serves a sentence for a crime we don't know yet. But we can guess through the prism of the series' characteristic, broadly understood gangster theme. In this scene, we can see several interesting things. Firstly, the prison looks populated and very lively, unlike in previous parts, which were desolate and lifeless. The play of lights and shadows indicates a high level of ray tracing. On the cell wall, there is a stuck photo, which many fans believe belongs to Lucia. It depicts a group of people, probably the family of the inmate. However, we are not sure to whom the photo belongs because, as you can see, there is a bunk bed in the cell, so the photo may well belong to Lucia's cellmate. In this scene, we see Lucia talking to a prison staff member named Stephanie. Perhaps she is a prison guardian or a psychologist. Behind her, we can also glimpse a few photos, probably depicting her family or friends. Lucia was asked if she knows why she ended up here, to which she replied,
"Bad luck, I guess."
This speaks to her significant distance from the world and a not-too-serious approach to life. The next scene depicts the coastline of sunny Vice City. In the water, we can see the area's characteristic water turtles, dolphins leaping out of the water, and sharks. The level of realism is so high that near the shore, we can observe typical beachwater algae and seaweed. In the sky, we see a helicopter and the popular water plane known from Vice City, which, just like in the first game, drags behind it an ambiguous advertisement, typical of Rockstar's sense of humor. In the next clip, we can see that the interiors of buildings look significantly better than in GTA 5. They are probably just 3D illusions, not real rooms, but they make an impression nonetheless. This shot confirms what we saw in leaked material from a year ago, an airboat that we can use to traverse the swampy rural areas. According to some fans, on board are Jason and Lucia, the latter holding a weapon similar to a harpoon, which was also mentioned in the leaked footage. The diversity of animals will be the greatest ever seen in the history of video games. This applies to reptiles, amphibians, birds, and mammals. The level of detail in vegetation and terrain shaping will also be unimaginable. We move to perhaps the most phenomenal shot of this trailer. This shot is so full of action and movement that it's almost impossible for a game to look like this. The scene includes various behaviors of NPC, such as squirting tanning oil, posing for photos on social media, tossing a beer can from hand to hand. We see that character models are diverse, shapes and physiology preserved. The physics of the human body is at a very high level. Pure perfection. But is it real? Let's hold our judgment, because this is just a first trailer. Here we see a shot, probably of sports boat races, which we could already experience in GTA Vice City. Apparently, they will return in GTA 6. Also, take a look at the water physics. This shot probably depicts Lucia and Jason. As in the previous scene, it's worth noting the animations and behaviors of the characters. Here, for example, we see a man recording Lucia with a phone, and there's nothing strange about it except that he's doing it while sitting in a car, holding the phone outside. Another interesting detail is the tall skyscraper with a hole in the distance, which appeared in GTA Vice City. We performed missions there by jumping a motorcycle from building to building. The next scene shows us that in Vice City, we will also be customizing our cars and participating in numerous four-wheel fan meetings. Also, pay attention to details such as loops on high-voltage cables, colorful murals characteristic of some Miami neighborhoods, and this character. Later, he will appear again. Here, we see a scene from a nightclub, which also appeared in leaked footage from last year. Similar to the beach scene, this shot also features breathtaking views. Pay attention to diverse characters, new animations, and new visual effects. Notice this banner, referring to a specific day of the week. Perhaps in-game events will depend on the day. This shot features a guy standing near a lowrider meetup. Take a look at his arm tattoo. It's identical to the one we can get in GTA 5. Some locations are practically recreated one-to-one, making the game look realistic and phenomenal. We can be sure that tennis will make a comeback in GTA 6. As I mentioned earlier, vehicles from GTA 5 will appear in the game. Pay attention to the guy sitting on the ground with a giant gecko or chameleon on his arm. In the distance, we can see the familiar Ocean View Hotel. Many fans believe that the character in the white suit is a reference to Lance Vance Dance. Here we have an obvious reference to the party at the Malibu Club. Many believe that the DJ we see here is Peggy Go, a South Korean DJ and songwriter. On this shot, we see a vast area, mostly covered in water. Pay attention to the bridge next to the highway. This is a reference to the existing Bahia Honda Bridge, an abandoned railroad bridge in the lower Florida Keys. Probably, we'll be able to perform some crazy stunt jumps there. Another thing worth noting is the distant aerostat. It's a reference to a real aerostat named Fat Albert. It was equipped with various types of radars and monitored a vast area of ocean and sky to reduce drug trafficking. For the first time in the history of the GTA series, a cargo ship is seen moving across the water. Many people speculate whether the woman in the white bikini is Lucia. If we compare all the screenshots from the trailer, we can risk saying that it is her. Moreover, she is on the balcony of one of the luxury skyscrapers, which actually exists. This shot presents, for the first time in the trailer, the airport in the game. Several next shots are clips from a phone, presented in the form of stories or social media reels. They reference actual events and people, indicating an extensive and widespread internet access in the game world, as well as people's fondness for social media. This will likely have a significant impact on the entire game. We can notice that there are also footage from industrial cameras and shots from police body cameras. This could indicate a possible access to these cameras in the game. Many references to the Florida Man memes. On this shot, you can see a few interesting things. Firstly, in the game, there will be the Thrill Billy Mud Club, something like real meetings of beer, monster trucks, mud, and rock music enthusiasts. Many fans noticed low figures in the background and suggested that they might be children. As it turns out, the figures in the mud are fighting on their knees, which makes them look shorter. It's not clear whether there will be children in the game, but considering the controversy, it probably won't happen. Another reference to real events and characters. Speaking of social media, it's worth mentioning that the golden follow button has a border color very similar to the Snapmatic logo. Pay attention to the incredibly detailed environment. Stains on the ground, shattered glass, tire, and footprints. Attention to the smallest details. All of this indicates an unprecedented level of realism in video games. It can't be denied that the entire trailer is filled with sexual innuendos or dark humor typical of Rockstar games. Rockstar enjoys making jokes sometimes about serious issues. In this shot, there's another thing worth noting. Look at the reflection in the mirror. Doesn't it make an impression? The banknotes held by Lucia have the inscription, United State of Paranoia instead of America. In the game, the Weasel News Information Station, already known to us from previous parts, will appear. The city will be full of random events that won't always concern us personally. Sometimes, we will simply witness things like car chases and accidents. A tattooed character's mugshot, taken by Vicedale County, pays homage to the real-life Florida Joker, who got famous after his arrest in 2017. Just like in real life, in Vice City, we'll come across local vandals and gang members. It's worth mentioning the bandanas on the heads or necks of some characters visible in the trailer. Their colors may be random or intentionally reference gang colors like the Cubans or Haitians. In these shots, we see a motorized gang terrorizing the city, and the police are struggling to deal with it. Among the onlookers, you can also spot people on bicycles, which will also appear in the game. Here we see a clip from High Roller's lifestyle. It's likely some magazine, online community, or TV show about fancy cars and hip-hop. The man featured in the clip strikingly resembles the rapper Rod Wave. Perhaps he will be the presenter or the main face of this show. It's worth noting that he's wearing a shirt with the Righteous Slaughter logo, a parody of the game Call of Duty that Michael's son played in GTA 5. In this shot, we see store shelves filled with familiar drinks that have appeared in previous installments. Pay attention to the quantity and quality of details in this shot. I hope all interiors in the game will look like this, not just some places. Here we have a shot, likely depicting an escape from a robbery location. In the background, you can see local stores where we'll be able to stock up on weapons and ammunition. Also, pay attention to the new animation of bracing against the window during sharp turns while driving. Take a look at all the small details, like Jason's scars on his eyebrows and chin, the hair on his chest, or even Lucia's small wrist bracelet. In this shot, we can observe several small details and references. Firstly, the store logo bears a striking resemblance to the one in Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a nod to Tom Petty, the artist of the song featured in the trailer. Additionally, there are a few smaller details, such as the iFruit Pay option, which is a reference to the real-world Apple Pay. And that would be all in this video. Let me know in the comments which details you were already aware of and which ones were a complete surprise for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Until next time.